Welcome back, everyone, to the Truth and Freedom podcast, where awakening begins with asking the question most people are afraid to ask. I'm your host, Dr. Dan Amzallag, and this is not just another podcast. This is a journey into awareness, courage, and truth. So, when we talk about trauma, we often talk about the memories, the moments we can describe, the events we can point to, the circumstances we can analyze. But the truth is that trauma is not just something that happens in your mind. Trauma is something that happens in your body. Long after the event ends, the nervous system continues to respond as if the danger is still present. And this is where the disconnect begins. Your mind may say, it's over, but your body says, I'm still not safe. Today, I want to explore PTSD, PTRS, and the profound truth stored in your nervous system, the part of trauma that cannot be talked away, the part that can only be released through real, embodied healing. So when something overwhelming happens, whether it's a single traumatic event or chronic emotional stress or an emotional abusive relationship, your body goes into survival mode. Fight, flight, freeze, fawn. These responses are not chosen. They are wired into your biology. Your nervous system does not care about logic. It does not care about stories. Its only job is to protect you. That's why people with PTSD or PTRS often feel confused by their own reaction. You tell yourself, I should be over this, but your heart races anyway. You could also say, I know I'm safe, but your body tenses, your breath shortens, and your shoulders tighten. You want to relax, but your nervous system is still scanning for danger. It's as if trauma programs the body with a fear response that remains active long after the mind tries to move on. PTRS stands for post-traumatic relationship syndrome, is especially misunderstood because the trauma wasn't a single event. It was emotional erosion. It was walking on eggshells. It was inconsistency, gaslighting, betrayal, manipulation, or chronic fear. PTRS doesn't always come with visible scars, but the nervous system doesn't distinguish emotional threat from physical ones. It reacts the same way. It protects you the same way. And here's the hardest part. When you live in survival mode for too long, that state becomes your normal. You don't realize how activated you were until you finally experience safety. You don't notice how deeply you were holding your breath until someone reminds you to exhale. This body-mind disconnect creates guilt, confusion, and self-blame. You think, why can't I just get over it? Why do I still react this way? Why is my body betraying me? But the reality is that your body isn't betraying you. Your body is telling the truth your mind tries to forget. The truth solved or stored in your nervous system is often the truth you were never allowed to speak. Healing from trauma requires more than reframing thoughts. Cognitive understanding is important, but it's only half of the equation. The other half is somatic, the physical release of what the body has been holding. Trauma must be processed through sensation, through breath, through grounded presence, through safety that is experienced, not just imagined. Now, your body needs to learn that the danger has passed. That healing happens slowly, gently, and in layers. It could be noticing where you tend to store tension. It could be grounding exercise that brings you back into the present moment. It could be breath work that teaches your body to exhale deeply again. It could be EMDRs, which stands for eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, or somatic therapy, yoga, or trauma-informed movement that helps the nervous system unwind. Sometimes healing looks like shaking, crying, trembling, your body releasing what it never had the chance to release before. Sometimes it looks like stillness, silence, rest, your body finally feeling permission to stop fighting. And here is the truth many people never hear. Healing the nervous system does not require you to revisit every detail of the trauma. It requires you to reconnect with your body, to teach it safety, to allow it to complete the survival response that were interrupted. So you don't have to relive the trauma to heal from it. You simply need to create new experiences of safety, of calm, of control, of grounding, again and again, until the body begins to trust the present more than it fears the past. Your trauma does not mean you're broken. It means your body was doing exactly what it was designed to do, which is to protect you. But now you get to teach it something new, that the threat is no longer here, that you survived, that you can choose rest, that you deserve peace. The healing journey is not about erasing what happened. It's about freeing your body from the responsibility of guarding wounds you no longer need to carry. The goal is not to forget. The goal is to feel whole again, to feel safe again, to come home to yourself again. Your nervous system is not your enemy. It is your history. It is your witness. It is a part of you that held on when everything else was falling apart. And healing that system is how you reclaim your power. This is the truth stored in your body. This is the truth you're finally allowed to honor. And this is the truth that, once healed, becomes your freedom. So I hope that you've all enjoyed today's episode. So on our next one, we'll discuss in depth about the art of starting over, rebuilding after divorce, loss, or major life transition. So if you recently dealt or presently dealing with any kind of loss, divorce, or anything else similar to what we will cover on the next episode, I would highly recommend to join us and listen to what we have to share to give you the power to restart over and moving forward. This is certainly an episode I personally recommend to download. Until then, my friend, stay awake, stay grounded, and stay free.